There's something special about mysteries. Add one to a story and I'm immediately sucked in. They give you something to speculate on and keep you on the edge of your seat, trying to piece together the correct answer before it inevitably gets revealed. Sometimes the mystery is omnipresent, the focal point of the narrative. Who committed the murder? What do the aliens want? And sometimes the mysteries are incidental. They certainly exist, but the narrative doesn't revolve around them. For instance, how did the zombie outbreak start? What's inside the doctor's room in the God Complex Hotel? In this video, I want to talk about a very specific type of mystery that I like to call a speculative black hole. A sudden, unexpected mystery that never gets an answer, is never mentioned again, and could be explained away with a trivial answer, or even hand-waved away as having no significance at all, but for some reason feels like a crucial piece of information that implies something profound. It lives carefully in the narrow space between an intentional open-ended mystery and something the author didn't even intend for you to speculate on at all. A true literary black hole, sending your speculative mind spiraling into an endless void of possibilities, with a voice deep inside telling you that you're wasting your time on something that in reality almost certainly has such a trivial answer. So clearly this is something quite personal, where the inherent feeling of the answer potentially being important is a key criteria. And I've got two examples that come to mind, but first let's make the criteria very clear. A speculative black hole has to 1. Be a mystery, 2. Come out of nowhere, 3. Be mentioned by the narrative, 4. Be immediately forgotten by the narrative and never spoken of again, 5. Have no definitive within-text answer, and 6. Could be dismissed with a simple answer, but feels like the answer should imply something profound. Super Buu, having absorbed Gotenks and gaining an unbelievable amount of strength, turns his fight with Gohan around and inches closer and closer to a complete victory. Meanwhile, Goku, watching the increasingly hopeless fight from the sacred world of the Kai, is given the opportunity to return to Earth by Old Kai sacrificing his remaining lifespan. But just as Goku is about to instant transmission right into the heart of the battle with Buu, Old Kai throws him a curveball. Potara earrings. The earrings worn by Supreme Kai and their apprentices. Get two people to place them on opposite ears, and they will be fused into a singular, much more powerful being, forever. The fusion is permanent. With this knowledge in mind, Goku enters the battle, attempting to fuse with his son Gohan, but he loses that opportunity as Buu absorbs him. And so, Goku is only left with his greatest rival, Vegeta. Tossing and turning over his humiliation at Goku hiding his Super Saiyan 3 form, Vegeta refuses to fuse with Goku. But on learning that Buu has absorbed Bulma and Trunks, and that they are stuck inside his body not even able to die, Vegeta gives up his pride forever, putting on the Potara earring and voluntarily fusing with Goku for all of time. And thus Vegito is born, the fusion of the two greatest and strongest rivals in the Dragon Ball universe. Their individuality sacrificed forever for the sake of something beyond themselves. And when I was but a child, this was one of the most impactful sacrifices I had ever seen in a story. And yet, when Vegito is eventually absorbed by Buu and enters the magical dimension that is Majin Buu's body, the fusion is undone and Goku and Vegeta regain their individuality. In the English dub, which is all I ever knew, we get no explanation for this defusing whatsoever. After this, the mystery of why they defused is never brought up again for the rest of Dragon Ball Z, but boy did it leave an impact on me, forever lost in the spiral of whether it's just a pointless plot convenience orchestrated to bring back the stars of the show, or whether it implies something deeper. Perhaps it says something about different laws for magical and physical dimensions of the Dragon Ball universe. If permanent fusion can be undone when transitioning from one to the other, what else could this dimensional transfer induce? If Potara earring fusion is only possible in the physical world, then are there things that are only possible in this magical world? Or maybe the diffusing implies some connection between the magic used by Bibidi and the power of the Supreme Kais. Maybe it implies something about Bibidi's upbringing and where his skill with magic came from. But yes, this is all baseless and pointless, and most would probably say absurdly ridiculous speculation, but when the mystery first presented itself to me, this was the type of speculation that flooded my mind. Is the answer trivial, or is it profound? I'll never know, but it's the fact that it feels like it has an important answer, even though it probably doesn't, that makes this a speculative black hole. So let's recap. 1. We have a mystery. 2. It comes out of nowhere. 3. It's mentioned by the narrative. 4. It's never spoken of again. 5. It has no definitive within-text answer. And 6. It could be dismissed as being something simple, or it could be hinting at something greater. Denji uses his shining power to defeat Santa Claus, a masterful assassin that was powered up by flesh from the Darkness Devil itself. But as her body is decaying away, she gives a maniacal speech about how she will not die as her dolls will live on and return to kill Denji again and again. And then, out of nowhere, Quan Chi decapitates Denji and orders the Cosmos Fiend to give Santa Claus the all-out Halloween treatment. Using her Halloween Kamehameha, Cosmo casts Santa Claus into a cosmic library containing all knowledge of everything in the universe. Cosmo then gives Santa Claus one final harrowing message. All of the contents of all of the books in this library are about to flow into your mind. Once you understand everything, you can only think of Halloween until you die. We then flash to the real world, and all Santa Claus can do is spout the word Halloween over and over, and the Halloween mystery is never brought up again. A new speculative black hole. Why is it that when a person acquires total understanding of everything in the universe, all they can think of is Halloween? Of course, we could dismiss this as a simple narrative gag, or just a familiar quirk of the way Fujimoto weaves absurdity into Chainsaw Man. However, at least to me, it feels like something greater. To forever think of Halloween once acquiring universal knowledge is claimed to be an absolute certainty. Perhaps what it means to be human in the Chainsaw Man universe is not to be at the current point in some evolutionary path, or to have a set of common traits stemming from a certain range of genomes, but rather to be human is to speak Halloween once all knowledge is understood. Or maybe those trapped to think Halloween for all eternity are trying to warn those unaware of an impending doom that they just can't quite articulate due to being stricken by a certain kind of stutter that having too much knowledge has forced upon them. So yes, I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek with some pretty absurd examples of speculation, but I hope you get the idea. The Halloween mystery could certainly be answered with something trivial, but to me, it gives me a strong feeling that there's a far more profound answer somewhere deep in the speculative black hole. So let's recap one final time. 1. We have a mystery. 2. It comes out of nowhere. 3. It's mentioned by the narrative. 4. It's never spoken of again. 5. It has no definitive within-text answer. And 6. It could be dismissed as being something simple, or could be hinting at something greater. Now obviously I'm no English major or anything, so speculative black holes are just a fun term I thought I'd throw out there. I'm sure I'm just overcomplicating something really obvious and simple, and I'm sure someone will point this out to me. But nonetheless, I'm trying to make a video every 2 weeks, so here you go. And yes, by the way, I do know we actually get an answer to Vegito coming undone in Dragon Ball Super, but he came out 20 years later and is in no way considered part of my personal canon. Dragon Ball GT for life.